Christina from Married at First Sight claims that she got a text from a reliable source that Henry was, being in a relationship with a man, and now when Henry asks for the text, Christina says the text is gone. Guys, what is up? Max here, the Celeb Talk guy, and y'all already know one of my favorite shows was on last night, and that is Married at First Sight, and oh my god, on last night's episode, we have debatably seen one of the most bizarre scenes maybe in this season. And what went down was, like I said, Christina got a text in the last episode from a reliable source that Henry, her husband, I guess right now, her current husband, is in a relationship in a romantic fashion with a man. And Christina said that, hey, this is a reliable person, I believe him. And Henry was just like, well, okay, well, show me the text. And what did Christina say? She told him that the texts are gone. So you guys, I am at a loss of words. I have not seen anything this unbelievably crazy this entire season. I just can't even imagine why Christina would make something like this up. Because if someone texted you something that, out of this world and just crazy, wouldn't you at least show the other person the text? I mean, Christina claims that she got this text and then all of a sudden, boom, they magically disappear. I mean, honestly, what in God's name do you guys think? Do you guys agree or disagree with me? But I'm standing here saying the texts are fake, and Christina was just trying to save face. It was, in the words of Bruce Springsteen, a last chance power drive. She is trying anything to get out of this marriage on top, I feel like. I feel like she wants to be able to say, hey, I need to leave you because you're cheating on me and you're cheating on me with a man. And so I think she's trying to kind of be like, you know what? The reason you don't love me is not because I am rude and ornery and kind of impatient. The reason you don't love me is because you're in a relationship with a man. So I think that's just kind of her, last chance, possibility of being able to save face and be able to leave on top. I mean, don't you guys think? Because Henry heard it and was like, oh, it's not true. I'm not, interested in men in that way. And not only that, I'm not dating anyone. And honestly, the person that might be honestly dating someone on the side is kind of appears to be Christina. So I don't know where she came up with this. I don't know if she just pulled it out of her you-know-what and just made the whole thing up out of thin air. But on last night's episode, it was just unbelievable. And the craziest thing is after she brought up the rumors, it looks like, at least to me, he just denied it. And then she said, I don't have the text. And then they never brought it up ever again. And then Christina was like happy-go-lucky. Hey, we're going on a couples retreat. So I don't know why. It's like this elephant in the room, but they don't want to talk about it. It just seems so weird. I mean, if someone, if I was married to someone and she told me, hey, I got a text that you are in a relationship with someone else, man or woman, you would at least just say, hey, let me see the text. And if you won't show me the text, you're clearly lying. So for Christina to not show Henry the text, that tells me one thing: she is lying. Show us the text. I would put that text right on camera in front of the entire world, because it's like you need to back up this incredibly unbelievable claim with some proof, and she does not appear to have any real proof. So Christina and Henry, their marriage is just, oh my goodness God, is it bad. I mean, it is one of, you guys can put in the comments below what you think, but I'm telling you, I don't know if I've seen a marriage this bad in Married at First Sight history. I mean, they might go down as probably one of the top 3. Now, why haven't they ended their marriage prematurely? I do not have any idea. I don't know if there is like a perk to staying on the show or this. I don't know what is. I just cannot figure out what the incentive is for Henry and Christina to stay. Maybe you get money, maybe you get more food. I know they're always kind of going and eating out and crap, so I don't know if there's somewhat of an incentive, but for some reason, Henry and Christina will not call it quits, even though we can all clearly see with 2020 vision, they are not going to work. And even on the last episode, Henry had Woody over and he didn't even really tell him everything that was going on. He just vaguely told him the story with the text and the this and the that, and Woody was just like, oh my God, why are you still doing this? So I'm with Woody. Henry and Christina, they need to go their separate ways. Obviously, really quick with Olivia and Brett, they have ended their marriage. They're not together. In the last episode, they chose to end their marriage. On actually 2 episodes ago, they decided to end their marriage. Great decision for both of them. On the last episode, we got to see Olivia move out of her apartment, and boo-hoo, sweet Olivia, I love her dearly. Amani, who, they've kind of built this friendship, Amani and Olivia, they've come together as one, good friend, which is sweet, and Amani kind of helped her move, and Amani asked Olivia, hey, have you ever heard from Brett? Has he reached out? And she was just like, he sends me these stupid little texts every here and there, really randomly, and he gave her permission to date other people. So obviously that just means he's, wanting to come out and say, I'm dating other people. So Olivia, you can date other people too, which is just stupid. And I'm sure she needs his permission. I mean, I am just so sick and tired of 2 people so far, and that is Christina, and I'm also sick and tired of Brett. Now let's fast forward over to Woody and Amani, and I will keep them short and sweet. They're doing, they're just the shocker of the season, to be completely honest. I am completely, totally shocked. They're doing much better. They're definitely in the number 1 of just doing good. I mean, I've had my concerns at the beginning of the season. Now seeing them together, they're doing great. They're still getting closer, and they made comments about why they believe their marriage is working. And I feel like at the end of the day, Woody and Amani, they both have the attraction, but at the end of the day, they both wanted to be married. And I feel like someone like Brett, and someone even kind of like Christina, and maybe even Henry too, they didn't really want it. I mean, you guys can comment below what you think, but I just feel like Woody and Amani, they really wanted this marriage to work. They wanted to be married. Olivia, she wanted to be married. Henry, maybe he did. He got a really bad match. But Woody and Amani, they seem to be doing really well. I love them dearly. And every episode, they just seem to be growing closer. And that brings me to a couple that I started off loving. Now I'm not sure how I feel. And that is Amelia and Bennett. On the last episode, now 4 of the couples, because Olivia and Brett, they're gone, but all of the 4 now couples went on a little getaway, a couples romantic getaway. And most of the couples were fine. Now, obviously, Christina and Henry, they were not fine. They had their little awkward, whole text situation, so that was just weird. But Woody and Amani, they were doing great. Karen and Miles, more on them in a couple minutes. But Amelia and Bennett, the whole time that they were on this trip and this retreat, they were doing these exercises together where you would, write a letter to your 10-year-old self and stuff like that. And they were doing trivia and whatnot. And when Bennett wrote his letter, he made it really about himself, and he didn't mention Amelia at all. And that kind of, I believe at least, hurt Amelia's feelings somewhat, sort of, kind of. She was a little bit hurt with the fact that he didn't have the decency to even mention his wife at all, be a little bit lovey-dovey or romantic. And that's what that's my whole point. The more I watch Amelia and Bennett, kind of the less I like them. I hate to come and just say that. They're really weird people, let me just say, which that's not bad, but they are just freaking so different than me and probably the majority of you guys. They go by the beat of their own drum. They're always doing just bizarre crap, but they seem to be happy. I'm starting to not like Bennett. If I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, my interest in Bennett, at least on the show, maybe in real life, the guy's a rock star, cool guy, and he seems to be cool. I don't know if it's just me, but I mean, it just really seems like Bennett is just a completely kind of like high maintenance nitpick, kind of. He's always like nitpicking, it seems like, kind of. And then Amelia, I like her, she's sweet, but for her, it's like always sunshine and rainbows. And that's my problem with this couple. We haven't really seen anything go down. Like they're always just like happy and happy and happy, but it's kind of like, Amelia, do you have any concern, thoughts, emotions? We finally got to see her last episode say that she wished that Bennett would have wrote something a little bit more sweet and romantic about her, because he didn't. But still, it's like, do you have anything just deeper? So when I watch these two, because they're always sunshine and rainbows and cheery and jolly and happy, it's just kind of like I'm standing here waiting for reality. I want to see the real of these two, and maybe the real of these, maybe we are seeing the real Bennett and the real Amelia, but it just seems like, man, do they have any like emotion? They're always so freaking happy, which great for them, but I feel like all relationships have to have a little bit more up and down, and Amelia is just always so up. So Amelia and Bennett, they're still doing well. I feel like the only concern I have is just Bennett. I don't think Amelia is going anywhere. She seems so interested in Bennett. But, you know, Bennett, he's kind of up and down. Like, he definitely does show more of his emotions. He's kind of still somewhat all over the place. We'll have to wait and see what happens with their situation of them moving. I can only imagine they're going to stay together. You know, I can assume, but I just feel like when she actually does move, because if you don't know, she got a job in Virginia, she's gonna have to move. Bennett did agree to go with her, but I just feel like when she gets over there, I don't know, my gut is just telling me I have a very big hunch that they might not do well once they move. I don't know why I'm feeling that. There's just something about those two I just don't love. Don't get me wrong, I still like Amelia and Bennett a lot. I'm not loving them as much as like Woody and Amani. Sorry for that rant, but now the last but not least couple, and that is Miles and Karen. And oh, I am so divided on these two. I don't know. You know, the funniest thing happened on last night's episode, and that's Miles sat down with Woody, one of his very close friends, and he just told him straight up and said, hey, you know, me and Karen, we have not been romantic in the bedroom. We have not experienced that, or we're not there in our relationship. And, you know, Miles told, you know, Woody, like, hey, you know, that's something I need to kind of experience to know where our chemistry and everything like that's at. You know, so it's really hard to say to someone, hey, I want to be with you for the rest of my life if we haven't experienced that yet, you know? And that's what I've been thinking about these two from the start. I'm not sold on these two as a couple. I'm really not. And something about these two, for me personally, just doesn't seem like they're a good match. We did get to see Karen and Miles really kind of connect over the Black Lives Matter movement, which was cool. They had a really good conversation about it with everyone at the retreat, and that was just cool to see. You know, so they are bonding, they're connecting. I honestly think in some areas they could be really good together, kind of, but for me, it's just screaming friendship. Karen and Miles, they're really coming to me as just friendly, brotherly, sister, cousinly type. They don't have a romantic side to me. So I am not sold on them. They are my iffy couple of the season. They've been the iffy couple this whole season. And I think I'm getting to a point where I think Miles should just run. Honestly, personally, we're gonna have to wait and see what actually goes down, but I just feel like he is getting the shorter end of the stick. We have a stick right here. He's getting about this much of it, and Karen's getting, you know, a very larger stick of the two, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's like, it's just not even. It's not even. It's not 50-50. I feel like all relationships should be equal. Karen, she kind of does whatever she wants, it seems, but Miles is running around doing this, that, and the other for her, and I'm just not seeing that romantic connection. So they were bonding, they were talking, they were kind of getting closer, but my gut is telling me no. Karen and Miles should not be together. But you know, of course, this is coming from a single person that watches reality TV like 6 out of 7 nights a week. So what in God's name do I really know? Well, guys, Married at First Sight, I am just so curious for this season to come to an end and honestly just see what happens with Karen and Miles. I know everyone thinks they know everything. Everyone thinks they have a spoiler, this, that, and the other, but no one really knows until we see. And believe it or not, I don't have the slightest idea. So I am just really curious, Henry and Christina, if they do, for some godforsaken reason, stay together, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can continue to watch this show if they, for some crazy reason, decide to stay together. But, I mean, you can only assume at this point, they should end their marriage before the decision day. They should just call it quits. And Woody and Amani and Amelia and Bennett, I think they're a good match. You know, I think they'll likely stay together. We're gonna have to wait and see, but it just comes down to Miles and Karen, and I really don't feel great about that couple. But once again, you know, what in God's name do I know? So guys, please feel free to comment below your thoughts. what you guys are thinking, if you agree or disagree with me, and if you have any more thoughts from last night's episode. Well, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please make sure to hit the like button, comment below your thoughts, and if you have not already subscribed, we are so close to hitting 80,000 subscribers, which is just, oh my God, it's unbelievable. So if you haven't already subscribed on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for many more videos.